question, bruh. Why is the Warriors Summer League team always trash? Year in and year out, these dudes get packed up in Vegas. It's an annual tradition like no other. And this year wasn't any different. The Warriors finished this year's Summer League going 0-5 in Vegas and 1-6 overall if you include the 2 California Classic games. Yo, check this out. Dating back to 2016, the Warriors have a combined record of 11-26 in Summer League. The only year they had a positive record was in 2019 when they went 3-2. Now, what does this all mean? Well, in the grand scheme of things, absolutely nothing. I mean, come on, bro, it's Summer League. As disappointing as losing is, the record doesn't go towards anything. Most of these dudes you see on the roster ain't got a chance of sniffing the NBA court. It's basically a setting designed for showcasing young players and getting a closer look at prospects. And with that comes a lot of selfish basketball being played in Summer League. I mean, I get it. Dudes are playing for contracts, whether it be an NBA contract or an overseas one. So they're obviously trying to make an impression. Unfortunately for us watching at home, we see some ugly hoops. There's not a lot of team-oriented ball being played. Dudes are ball hogging, trying to get their game off. So you can't read too deeply into Summer League performances either way, man.
That's an air ball.
It's too many X factors to account for. Now, with that being said, I've seen a lot of Warriors fans already down on Brandon Podziemski, calling him a bust before ever stepping foot on the NBA court. And that's crazy to me, bruh. Now, trust me, I'm well aware of his shooting numbers in Summer League. He averaged 10 points per game on 32% shooting from the field and 25% from 3. That's atrocious, especially compared to his college shooting percentages, where he shot 48% from the field and 44% from 3. So it's definitely been a struggle shooting the ball. And when you watch him play, the lack of athleticism is evident, but not disastrous. Defensively, although limited physically, he knew where to be and has a good understanding of the defensive game plan. The biggest keys to Podziemski's ability to succeed in the NBA comes down to a few things. He has to be as good of a shooter as advertised. Does he have the size and athleticism to survive at the pro level? And can his b-ball IQ, feel for the game, and skill level make up for his physical limitations? In terms of his defense, I think his IQ and anticipation are good indicators that he'll eventually become a good team defender with time and experience. Now, as far as his on-ball defense, we'll have to wait and see. But from what I've seen so far, I think that's something he'll struggle with. Now, offensively, it's been difficult for him to regularly beat defenders off the dribble and get all the way to the rim in Summer League. His jumper and his signature high arcing floater didn't go down either, so it was a rough showing for Podziemski offensively. But the Summer League overreactions are always hilarious, man. His college numbers suggest the shot will eventually fall. He's too good of a shooter for it not to. It's one thing if he just missed tough ones, but he's missing wide open ones too. He shot 44% in college from 3. Trust me, I'm not worried at all. Summer League was a 7-game sample size. I'm not writing off a player as a bust based off a 7-game stretch, especially in a setting that caters more towards dudes who are getting buckets, not dudes who play a more team-oriented game like Podziemski. If you put Pods around more talented players and dudes who play the game the right way, I promise you he'll look much better. He needs to knock down his open shots though. Me personally, I'm not necessarily focused on how many points you score in Summer League. Scoring a lot of points in this setting doesn't move me, and it doesn't always equate to success in the NBA. What I'm looking for is translatable skills that contribute to winning basketball. Decision making, processing speed, creativity, effort to make the winning plays. That's what I'm looking for. And Posh checked all those boxes. Here's an example of some of his creativity on display. He fakes the pass and goes into an immediate floater all in the same motion, getting the defense to react and buying himself enough time to get his floater off cleanly. This next clip is probably my favorite Podziemski play from Summer League. He hit him with the whoop, whoop, not one, but 2 pump fakes before the wet ball. That was for sure a Steph Curry-esque play right there. Earlier I touched on Pods making winning plays. Well, his hustle and relentlessness on the boards are a few examples of that. He's always around the action, offensively and defensively. And he's a really good rebounder with a natural nose for the ball, similar to Dante DiVincenzo. He averaged 6 boards a game in Summer League and 9 a game in college. He averaged almost 2 offensive rebounds a game as a 6'5" guard, so the rebounding ain't no fluke. That's not easy to do. His overall playmaking and court vision seems to be the biggest standout skill from Summer League. I think he showcased the passing and decision making of an eventual primary point guard. He plays with intelligence, and besides a few lazy passes, he makes some sound decisions. He even had a 10-assist game, which is rare in Summer League because of how sorry their teammates usually are. One way to describe his effect on the offense is that he leaves the possession in a better place than when he found it. What I mean by that is, when the ball swings to him, he usually always makes the right play. His decision making is sound. He showcased encouraging signs of pick and roll playmaking, especially when he's able to penetrate the paint, effectively dropping off passes to the big man. Looking at this first clip, Paz draws 2 defenders in the paint, dumping that thing off to a TJD lurking under the basket for the wide open 2-hand dunk. He squeaked that one past 2 defenders through a tight passing window right on the money. Next clip, Podziemski goes into a spin, then his TJD cut into the rim. First of all, the fact that he processed his play so fast and saw TJD cut into the basket while spinning off 2 defenders is crazy. He has great floor vision, and he's always looking for cutting teammates. As you can see, him and Trace Jackson-Davis has a pretty solid 2-man game developing, so that's good to see. Speaking of Trace Jackson-Davis, let's get to him next. It took a minute, but Warrior fans finally got their first look at TJD across the final 2 Summer League games, and he didn't disappoint. After missing the majority of Summer League dealing with a hamstring injury, TJD kicked off his Summer League debut with a 14.7 rebound performance in 20 minutes against the Rockets in Game 1, and was even more impressive in the second game with an 18.10 rebound double-double against the Raptors. He had 12 offensive rebounds total and only 45 minutes played. Even though TJD can be considered undersized at the center position at 6'9", 240, thanks to his athleticism, 7-foot wingspan, and large hands, he's able to make up for it in other ways. He's also got some decent mobility. Check out this recovery block. Big fella covers some ground to get to that block. Sheesh. Some other things I noticed from Summer League, he has a really good understanding of when to screen and when to roll. He'll be a good fit as a pick and roll partner for CB3 in the second unit. He took 21 field goal attempts. All of them were at the rim. 9 of them were dunks. If he gets a chance to load up, he's an explosive finisher. Although the two-hand slams from the pick and roll or the dunker spot may be the major highlights, it's his passing that may be the difference maker in his career at the NBA level. The capacity to read plays quickly and find teammates has been impressive, and that's what ultimately will separate him from former athletic big men like Marquise Chris or Jordan Bell. He checks multiple boxes as a lob threat, interior defender, finisher, and passing hub. It's easy to imagine him seamlessly fitting into Golden State's system. Having a big man that's capable of playing with aggression and using his size effectively is a nice addition. On top of that, he has a good feel for the game as a big man, and that's imperative for a Steve Kerr-led team. With Chris Paul now in the mix, I wouldn't be surprised if Trayce Jackson-Davis is an impactful piece in a limited role at times next season. Alright, let's get to Lester. Not only was Quinones far and away Golden State's best player throughout the tournament, but more importantly, he proved he's more than earned a two-way slot. Coming off a G League season where he won Most Improved, the 22-year-old's rate of development should have Warriors fans excited. Quinones averaged 22 points, 4.6 rebounds, 5.2 assists, and 1.2 steals per game. The shooting percentages weren't great, 37.3% from the floor and 26.7% from 3. But that was more a reflection of the load he took on in the Warriors offense. A few things of note: he got to the free throw line an average of 7.8 times per game and got up 9 threes a game in Summer League. I like the aggression and confidence as a scorer, but he's not just some microwave scorer that's all offense and no defense. He can get after it defensively. The Warriors officially signed Lester Quinones to a 2-way contract. Lester's without a doubt an NBA player, so the Warriors got an NBA caliber player signed on a 2-way, which means he doesn't count against a 15-man roster. For a Warriors team that's intentionally leaving their 15th roster spot open for tax purposes, that's huge. I can see Lester getting opportunities throughout the regular season to contribute when Steph, CP, and Clay inevitably miss games. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If you enjoyed the content, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel grow and it would be much appreciated. I'll holla at you on the next one. Peace.